Oliver Delft had been sent to find a hacker in Knightsbridge, not to arrest him, but to recruit him. Cosimer picked up his trail, and we've been watching him from a distance ever since. A good poacher who'll make an even better gamekeeper, Cotter had told him. Very young, but quite brilliant. Oliver was having trouble finding the right address. There was 46, an ice cream parlour, and there was 47, a college of English. Of 46B there was no sign whatsoever. He stood at the door of the college and pondered the problem. It was undignified to be back in the world of legwork. He had taken the Cotter shilling gladly, but he should have known that there would be a price. In his world, Oliver had been supreme commander. The pay was atrocious, and the bureaucratic constrictions suffocating. Was he now nothing more than a bird in a gilded cage? As he stood examining the doorbells, a hand fell on his shoulder from behind. Oliver dropped the shoulder and tried to turn, but the hand knew what it was doing and had anticipated his move. It gripped the shoulder harder. "You come along with us, sir. Mickey, car door. I shall read the gentleman his rights." If this was the private sector, Oliver wanted nothing to do with it. The two bent-nosed plug-uglies either side of him were not officers of the law, for all their uniforms, plastic handcuffs, and portentous language. Oliver had known a few in his time, and he would have been prepared to bet that all this pair knew about police stations was the colour of the tiles inside the cells. He sensed the strength and the violence in them, however, and was not prepared to argue just yet. If they were working for this hacker, then CDC had been seriously compromised. That Kraut woman, his predecessor, was clearly incompetent. Everyone at Cotter's had told him so. She had stumbled on something she did not understand. However, Delft trusted his wits, and at the end of it all smelled the possibility of gain. When Delft follows you into a revolving door, he liked to say, he always comes out first. They drove north in silence. The driver interested Oliver. He saw the eyes watching him from the mirror. 60-ish, more dignified than the yahoos in the back. He could be a copper easily. Something familiar about him? Probably not. The car swept into a farmhouse driveway, and again a little stab of déjà vu visited the pit of his stomach. A childhood holiday? Mysteriouser and mysteriouser. Oliver was led into a bare kitchen and told to sit down. "Don't move." It isn't easy to sit down without moving. Ah, big mistake. An enormous fist crunched into the back of his neck. Oliver sat down. Sudden blows to the back of the neck, as to the nose, can cause the tear ducts to spring. Oliver blinked rapidly and widened his eyes to let them flow without reddening. He really was not going to be seen crying. That would be too ridiculous. He looked up at the ceiling, dilating his nostrils and sniffing, like a man who looks into the sun to make himself sneeze, while they removed his shoes and his tie. Did they imagine that he, Oliver Delft, was the type to hang himself, just when things were getting so interesting? The two barbarians left, and he heard them lock the door behind them. The tears subsided, and he looked around. An Aga and a fridge. Was it a holiday? A dirty weekend years ago? He was sure now that he had been here before. It was an old-fashioned fridge, a squat pressed cold. Yet he could see lighter paint against the wall that suggested it had been put in to replace a taller, slimmer one. All very odd. There was an LEP on the table, today's early edition. Abuse in Swedish Hospital of Hell. It wasn't the headline. It was the photograph inset halfway down that grabbed Oliver's attention. Mallow! Thank Christ he was out of the service. God bless Simon Cotter. Looked like there was going to be a stink. Would Mallow talk? If he was being threatened with arrest, he might. Idiot prick. The whole point of Mallow was that he followed the regulations. Diplomas on the wall, government inspections, everything nice and legal. What the hell had he done to bring down the wrath of the Swedish government?